Ollie, do the intro. Come on. Funny looking dog, aren't you? Ollie. Oh, what is up, everybody? It's your boy. Today I thought I would make a video on the time that I had to save this silly prick from a kangaroo. Yeah, you. So it happened about, I don't know, 5-6 months ago. It was pretty full on when it happened because I was just sitting here like I am now. I think I was actually watching YouTube. I think I was watching the Out of Middle show at the time. And then I just hear him barking, all the Ollie, Penny, and Bullet just barking. And I was just sort of sitting here, and when they find something, they sort of have like a certain bark that they do, and it's really recognisable. So I heard it, and I was like, what is going on here? And then I paused my video, and then I sit here, and I was just looking out there, and then all I see just run past here, zoom, is a bigger, I know, now it's focusing, is a big-ass kangaroo that jumps, and you can't see it. I'll go out there, but it gets caught in the fence out there, so I just start screaming my absolute lungs off, trying to tell him to stop, and thankfully, I think Penny's the only one that gets off just from me screaming, so I hop up and I run outside. So I do rack, and I slap some thongs on, and I come out here, and then I bolted around here because I was like, oh no, that poor roo, when really it's not really, it was a big ass roo, so it probably would have been okay. But they were right over here, so it must have tried to jump over the fence, and either it didn't see it or it just didn't jump high enough. So I walk over here like this. Well, no, I didn't walk. I ran, and I shooed the dogs away, because the one that stayed there the longest was Bullet, which is the small one, which is like, she's probably two of my hand lengths like that above each other, and it was stuck right. And how it was it was stuck upside down, and I can't really remember how. You could sort of see where it's bent all the fence and stuff. One of its legs was stuck up in it, so it was doing like the splits underneath. And when I got here, I was like, okay, it didn't look that big sitting in there, but then I came out here and I was like, holy crap, that's a decent sized roo. So I opened this fence, and I get on the other side of the fence, and I just work its leg out whilst it's hissing its guts out at me. And I don't know if you've ever heard a roo hiss, but it's a pretty intimidating thing. I'm getting marauded by ants. So So I get it out the I can't go anywhere without ants. So I get it out the fence. It hops over a few and just jumps the fence there. And the two other dogs, Bullet and Ollie, were sitting up there, and they just bolted straight after it again and just jumped that fence. There's another fence just there, and then another fence down at the bottom. So I'm like, oh great, they've continued to chase it. And then I was like, oh god. And then my first thought was that the roo was leading the dogs down to the water, because they're really smart like that. They know that as soon as they get them to the water, they're now they can dominate the dogs in the water. So I'm like, crap. So I sort of look down, and I can see that it's gone straight to the water, and the two dogs are going after it. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. So I bolt over here, come and grab the quad, which is right here. Didn't have the trailer, it was just by itself. And I jumped on this thing, and I just started her up. Good old Honda, I think it's a 350. But I just started the beast up, and I didn't give it any time to warm up. I just fed it to it straight away. I was just like, because you push your button down, you go like that, and then you're in reverse, and I just smashed it into reverse and just flew out and flew down there. So yeah, I was going a hell of a lot quicker than this, and I didn't have ants biting me, although if I did, I didn't And then I was just feeding it down here, going quick as facky. So just fed it all the way down here. God, the gears are so short on this thing. all the way down to the backwater front there. I reckon it was about here where I parked, maybe. I know I parked on this hard shit here. So it probably would have been about down here, right? Because I seen that, oh, fish. It was a fair bit past that tree, because you can walk the whole way across this. As much as it might not look like it, the highest it gets is probably about belly button height. So it doesn't get that high here. On some spots you can walk across the whole way and it doesn't get any higher than your waist. And that's about knee deep in mud, because this is a carp runoff section. So it's meant to like flood a bit. Carp are meant to come in here through all the gates, and then the water's meant to drop right back down again, and the carp are just meant to stay in here and just die. But they breed like fuck in here, so that doesn't really work. But yeah, anyway, continue on. So they were about halfway across. So where that tree is, they were a fair bit further than that. If you want proof that I can walk across, I'll make another video of me walking across the whole way, because I'll just go and put my big brief things on, so I don't, because it's muddy. Like, I'm talking, when I ran across, I was about knee deep in mud and about waist high in water. And I don't know if you've ever tried to run in that, but it's fucking nearly impossible. So I jumped off the quad. It was probably parked about here, and I went to run, and it had been raining recently, so it was wet. This shit here, this black river mud / clay, turns into the most slipperiest fucking crap you've ever seen. I'm talking like, I hopped off and I went to run, and I just went, and I went fucking cunt up, and I just landed on my back, all while my the top there, that's where the house is. My missus was up there, out there. She was watching me the whole time, and she couldn't quite hear me, because I was just screaming like, the roo's got Ollie, the roo's got Ollie, because from what I seen, he looked dead. Ollie looked dead. What the roos do when they get in the water, they cuddle the dog and just hold the dog underwater whilst they keep their head out, and they just drown the dog. And that's what I seen it was doing. And Ollie, which is the dog, which is the orange one that you're seeing, he wasn't even fighting back. So I was like, oh my fucking God, like, he's killed him already. I was like, oi, oi, oi. I was screaming my guts off. So then after I went count up here, I started to make obviously I took my thongs off, and I flipped my thongs off, and I was like trying to run through this shit and nearly having a heart attack. I got over there, and I'll try and get a bit of a better thing going. I got over there into the middle, and Bullet, the other little dog, as I was screaming, she just made her way back across by herself. Thankfully, that better. Yeah, she made her way across. Back across. Thankfully, but Ollie, he was just, I could see in his eyes, he was exhausted. He was absolutely rooted. So I was like, fuck. So I was tried to run my hardest over there, which was nearly impossible. I was just about having a heart attack. And as soon as I got over there, my first initial thought was that I just got a bit close to him, see if he would get intimidated. Or it was a she. See if she would get intimidated, but there was no chance. She wasn't even. She was looking at me like, you're nothing, because it was taller than me. I'm 5'10". It was taller than me. It was a big roo. Thankfully, it was in the water. If it was in the land, I don't know if I would have walked up to it and punched it, because they are fucking savage things. Just made sure it was still going. And so my first punch, I loaded up a bit and I smacked it right in the jaw, and it was kind of funny when I think about it now. Its whole head flung, because my first punch wasn't really that hard. It was just like it looked really funny, but it's kind of, it's not nice, because I don't like hurting animals. But so it sort of flung its head back a bit, and it just kept holding on to Ollie. So I was like, oh, okay. So I loaded up a bit, gave her a good fucking uzz. and then that really swung her head back, and she let go of the dog, because I think she sort of leant back a bit, and she let go to get her balance again. Didn't even go for me at all. Was looking at me when I punched her, and then just went straight back to the dog and grabbed the dog again. So I was like, crap, you're kidding me. So again, I loaded up again, hit it again, and it head swung back. It was like a freaking cartoon. Head swung back a bit, and so I was like, no, okay, she's not letting go of the dog. So I just loaded up a haymaker just all the way back, and just punched as hard as I could. My knuckles were swollen as shit. And that sort of put it off balance again, and instead of turning straight to the dog, Ollie started to swim off. Thankfully, it just turned to me and just looked at me. So I just kept eye contact with it, because I know that if you break away first, they sort of think that they're winning the fight. I just kept eye contact with it, just staring at it the whole time, and just sort of backed off. And then once it seen that I was backing off, it backed off as well, thankfully. So I made my way back. Ollie made his way back. He had no, I think he only had like a couple scratches around his chest from where the roo was grabbing him. I ended up with pistol. I don't even know how I got this scratch. It was a deep scratch. So what type of scratch it was is it wasn't a straight scratch. It was on an angle. So I had like a flap of skin. I probably should have went and got stitches, but I have no idea how it happened. I think how it happened was when I punched her and she sort of angled back a bit, I think her feet might have come up a bit, and she bring them back down, because for how big that bloody roo was, it could have torn me to shreds. It could have just sliced me guts open, and I would have been dead. All I got from it was this. I cannot see the camera. Just that there. That tiny fucking thing there. It's about, I don't know, as long as 3/4 the length of my finger. Compared to what I could have got from that roo, I came out, everybody, all the dogs, the whole lot came out real lucky. That was full on. That was the most full on thing I've done. I've never been I've never been that face to face with a roo, with a wild roo. I've been face to face with pet roos, and ones in wildlife parks, but I tell you what, that was a different experience when you have this big ass roo just cuddling your dog, which I thought was dead when I was going over there, because he wasn't even splashing his feet. He was just like letting the roo do its thing. And when I came down here, the roo had Ollie's head under the water, and Bullet, the small dog, so she's about this big and about this tall, she's a savage thing, was fucking going at it, and I was like screaming my guts out, and I was like, you're kidding me, he's fucking killed him. But thankfully he didn't. Oh, itchy as fuck. And yeah, when I was coming back, I got about halfway back, and my heart was pumping so hard that I could barely even stand. I could barely even walk. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack and just drop dead there and then. So yeah, that was full on. Thankfully it hasn't happened since. And I don't want it to happen, because that was fucking, when I think about it now, that could have been so much worse. That thing could have just went straight for me, and I probably would have been fucked, because I imagine it can move in that mud a lot quicker than what I can. So thankfully it pissed off, I pissed off. Happy ending. I mean, it probably had a bit of a headache, and I had swollen knuckles like fuck, cut on my leg. So yeah, that's just and it's I know people are not going to believe it, which is fair. It's probably a pretty hard story to believe, but I promise you, it happened. And I've got my mum here and my girlfriend here. They didn't see the whole thing, but they saw the majority of it. So yeah, that was my time of when I had to fucking just about box on with a kangaroo, and thankfully it didn't box on with me back, because I would have lost. So yeah. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you've had a good day, or I hope you are going to have a good day. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow.